Raina, constant coverage, getting a lot of support across the country. Fight the filth. More and more young people joining us. Nationalists joining us. People who think right joining us. And then equally defensive, one group which says, so what if there's a little bit of perversion? They say, okay, we made a joke about the private parts of our parents. It's okay. No big deal. We do this all the time. And they say, I'm sure Deepika and Anish and Ira Trivedi will say tonight, oh, people talk like this behind closed doors in their homes. Let them talk in the open. Let's be a free society. I don't know. I call people, Ira, who talk like this behind closed doors, perverts. So they're perverts. And we say we're against perverts. You know?
Absolutely.
And Veer Das wants to come out and support perverts. He can. He's the great-grandfather of the comedy club of this country. But we are against perverts, Ira. Which side are you on? The debate is open, lines are open as well. Because this controversy is not going away anywhere. Dushyant Sridhar joining us from Frankfurt, Sanjana Galrani, Simi Chandok, Anish Kawande, and Deepika Narayan Bhardwaj, men's rights activist. Our first speaker this evening is Ira Trivedi. Ira.
While I agree with you, Arnab, that they are perverts and this has been perverted, I do think that a warning has been launched to them, and at least Ranveer Alabadia has apologized. And I think now it's time for policymakers to take a very strict look at now forming policies. So I do think that this is not just about targeting a few influencers. It's a larger issue about how do we regulate this so it doesn't happen again. There is regulation on a channel such as Republic TV, but there's no regulation on YouTube. So we do have
Apoorva Mukhija says, let me tell you what the kind of people who Veer Das seems to be supporting and people like him. She says, have you ever seen the private part of a woman after you were born through one? This is what she says. She's a woman, she says this. She refers to the private part of a contestant's mother. And all these dirty, perverted YouTubers are laughing away like idiots through it. And we ask questions, we'll be told, oh, you know, you're old-fashioned. It's cool to be perverted these days. What nonsense.
If there's, can I come in? If
Okay,
there's no
Sanjay.
legal action which will be taken in such a situation which has gone so worse, I would like to ask the lady who just spoke, if many other influencers follow the same route because they want to become viral with good news, bad news or dirty filth news, how will you control it? How will you set an example that you really need to be penalized if something like this is happening? We are not asking for a death penalty. We are not asking for a 20 years jail. But we are asking for a serious
lesson to be taught.
Because it's all about views on YouTube. And people do anything for views. So this should not be an example for the rest of the YouTubers. That okay, it's okay, let's do it and let's get on national channel somehow. In the good way or the bad way. How will you control that, ma'am? If you endorse something like this and if you forgive them so easily with a sorry, how will you endorse it? How will you stop the other influencers from doing it? And I've done my homework before coming in here. I went through Ranveer's Instagram for the first time. All his reels have 1 million views, 2 million views. His apology reel has 34 million views. So he has achieved the dirty publicity and the dirty tactic has really worked in making him a national sensation the last 3-4 days. So all the other influencers, they'll stake their...
Oh, they'll do it again. Let me tell you, there was one guy who almost lost his career. There have been people who've been creating this kind of content who have been caught in scams, scandals, sex scams, exploitation of women. All kinds of terrible situations have been boycotted. But let me tell you one thing, Deepika, they are doing the same thing right now all over again. They are back to it. They are back to it. Yes, Deepika.
First of all, let me clarify that I am in no support of any perversion, any filth content on social media by any creator. Arnab, last year, I was the one who brought out multiple handles on Instagram to the cognizance of NCPCR where mothers are making sleaze videos with their sons. They did not issue any notice. I myself filed an FIR against a YouTuber who was instigating young boys to sexually abuse toddlers. And when she was detained by the police, she said, and I'm talking about a woman doing this, she said, I was doing this for followers. Ranveer, what he said is absolutely disgusting and wrong. But Arnab, the question here is he the only one who has done it, or Samay Raina? We are living in an age where Big Boss invites Rajat Dalal kind of people on a national stage, on a national platform. What is his claim to fame? Abuse, assault, and publicly creating ruckus. When these kind of people are becoming the role models, everybody is going to chase fame and money. There are brands who are calling Urfi Javed on stage. What is Urfi's claim to fame? Shedding all clothes. We have made examples of these people. They are given brands, they are giving money, they are given platform, they are given fame. So what is the youth going to emulate? It's not just Ranveer Alabadia. And Arnab, if FIRs are getting filed now, if commissions are issuing notice, were they blind when all of this was growing? Were they absolutely oblivious of what kind of filth is going on social media? Does this issue warrant an attention by all the commissions, parliamentarians? That is my only question, Arnab. I'm not supporting what he said on this show.
No,
it's absolutely disgusting.
No, there is an economics to vulgarity.
Yes.
It's all about money. It is an economics to vulgarity, right? So when people promote perverted content, when Ranveer Alabadia talks perverted stuff, when Ranveer and this Apoorva talk about the intimate lives of parents and the sexual parts and the sexual organs of parents and laugh like idiots on it, not idiots, you know, then you must understand, viewers, there is an economics of it. The more dirt you do, the more followers you get, then you garner views, and then you get programmatic advertising. I'm sorry, the first episode of this perverted show got 27 million views, and Veer Das says this is the new journalism. We do journalism. Why are journalists getting worried about us? For God's sake, Veer Das, you're not even a comedian. I mean, the problem is there is an economics of vulgarity that people like Veer Das need to understand. Need to understand what the economics of vulgarity is.
Bring me in here with the Veer Das subject.
Simi.
Arnab, please bring me in here. Yes. You know, first of all, Veer Das, the reason he gives is more lame and more latent than India's Got Latent, okay? He says that the entire leading TV channels and the anchors are insecure because we have so much following. He is an idiot, to use the politest word, because if you have so many followers on a channel, we are also existing on social media platforms, and we get millions of more views than you guys do per story. So he is talking rubbish. Secondly, the main reason he is protesting this whole action against Ranveer or the public outlash, he says because other comedians will not be able to make enough money and it's going to get them into economic and monetary trouble. That's not our problem, Veer Das. That's your problem.
Exactly.
If you are going to feed us filth in our dinner plate, we are not going to eat that, whatever. I'm not going to use that word. Secondly, I have two more people to question here. What is Mr. Amitabh Bachchan doing? He is so active on X. He puts a number to every tweet. He was the one, no, don't interrupt me here. Let me finish this in 10 seconds. He was the one who got Samay Raina on a family, aspirational, intelligent, /religious, /general knowledge show called Kaun Banega Crorepati.
Don't tell me he did that.
Why
did Mr. Bachchan do that?
And now
I can't believe Mr. Bachchan got this guy on his show. Is it true?
Sitting at home.
Amitabh Bachchan got this guy on a show.
He got Samay Raina on his show. Samay Raina on the show. And
that's the problem with these channels. They look at these influencers thinking they'll get more traffic.
But that's exactly what I said, Arnab. Urfi Javed is on every news channel's platform. She is invited as a speaker. What has she done exactly in life to be invited as a speaker? I asked of you. These are established news channels who invite her. There are millions of girls who are following her.
Let me finish my point, please.
Yeah. Please.
Arnab, let me just finish my points. I have three people who I want to question today. A, Veer Das, that I already discussed right now. B, Amitabh Bachchan. He is so active on X and he numbers his tweets, tweet number so and so. Are you trying to say he's unsavvy or technically challenged about social media? No. Why isn't he coming out and apologizing that he got such a sick content maker who uses people like Rakhi Sawant who abuse in public, dirty, vulgar expletives and bad words. And then you have Urfi Javed who comes out for the PAPs literally wearing nothing. It happened at a certain
I'm told
award
Urfi
ceremony
Javed, this
in
lady has
America
also been
recently
summoned
this
right
week.
now. Because she
And-
was one of the guests on the show. Yeah.
Yes,
And it's what's
You're
happening
not
right
this
now.
show.
What's
They
happening
had
right
them
now?
earlier. So when
yeah.
Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, what Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, why did he call somebody like a Samay Raina who has
Wait,
Urfi Javed who's
ma'am,
almost naked
we are
every
in a
day in front
country
of the
where
cameras and
Madam
Rakhi Sawant?
who has been given a
Where
Padma
is
Award.
Amitabh
There are
Bachchan's
all
responsibility
Balaji-
towards the youth and towards the nation? He needs to come out and say,
Okay.
sorry, I accepted this
Arnab,
because I am
we
getting
have-
paid
we
5
have
crore rupees per
extremely-
episode.
Extremely
Thirdly,
perverted
why is
content
YouTube so
on all
quiet?
Balaji, which
Why
is
is
showing
YouTube
the
only
youth,
taking off this
youngsters,
episode of
college-going
Ranveer
kids
Alabadia out
doing
of pressure?
enormous
Okay,
things.
I'd like to get in Dushyant Sridhar. After this, I'm opening up to calls, ladies and gentlemen, and
One second,
I just one minute, just.
one point.
Please include the
No,
national
I want to tell you, I
Balaji.
would like to tell you
Why
that
not
this
that
new nature of, you see, the problem is that these people are also very poorly informed.
I'll
They're
tell
very,
you why YouTube
1 minute,
is not
1 minute,
Now,
please, one
I
minute,
just
one
wanna
minute,
make one point here.
Simi and Sanjana, these people are very poorly informed. They know nothing about the news. They know nothing about the country. They won't know how many states there are in the country. They won't know the borders of this country. They're generally poorly informed idiots. But to remain relevant, they also want to pull out some news jokes. Do you know, Dushyant, that recently one of these comedians said in the house, are there any Bengalis in the house? And then went on to put out a sick joke on the RG Kaur rape and murder case. This is happening. These are professional perverts and full-time idiots. And then they say we should be allowed to do this in the name of freedom of expression. It's funny. It's not funny when they make jokes about people from the Northeast, from Arunachal Pradesh. When Samay Raina asks somebody, a resident of a particular state, whether she has eaten dog meat. When there is a racist joke on people from South India. When you equate motherhood with depression, right? It's not funny anymore. I think these people have crossed the line. They need to face a boycott. I'd like to know what you think, Dushyant.
Though these
Dushyant, please. Dushyant Sridhar, please.
are-
Ladies and
are
gentlemen,
very,
on live right now,
very
Dushyant Sridhar, please. Let's take him on.
Namaskaram, Arnab, and namaskaram to my fellow panelists.
Namaskar.
From the land that has given us the Ramayana and Mahabharata, where time and again it is said to speak Madhura, Madhura Labha, speak only words that ooze sweetness. I was appalled to see this video. It's just not the words or no. It's about the scene that they imagine. Words is different. That is abusive words, Matra Devo Bhava, Pitra Devo Bhava, to the situation where we have landed ourselves in is really sad. But on the other side, Arnab, I just feel, today we are talking about punishment and cases. But I feel the words like WTF, all that has been normalized in normal conversations. It is in a very sad state that we are in, where normal conversations, friends who make conversation words which begin with F and WTF have become very, very common. So for them, it's just a platform that they are speaking in. For example, if we say that stand-up comedy shows shouldn't happen, that language, that lingo will still continue. What are we going to do about it? And at any point in time, let's say the government with a lot of support does bring in some legislation, then there will be activists who will say freedom of speech has been curtailed, freedom of expression has been curtailed.
Yes.
So that will be the question that will come. So I don't know. I still, because we can't say that these shows are meant for the adult, because given the technology and given the devices and the gadgets that children use, this content is accessible to children as well. And I'm really worried about the society that we are going to produce in the years to come, in the decades to come. It's really, really, see, as a parent to a daughter, I really feel a lot threatened, appalled, shocked. Add more words to it. I have nothing to say. What more can I say for all the words that they speak and the scenes that they describe? And people who buy tickets to listen to all this stuff or not, they buy tickets and they go to these shows and they sit, and these tickets run for thousands, and they sit and listen and they clap for these, whatever. I don't know if these are even jokes. What are these? Are these jokes? So somebody has to enlighten me. I'll be very honored and indebted to someone who would tell me if these are jokes.
Yeah, I don't think these are jokes. I mean, this is, I don't know. Anish, you want to say something here? I was told you want to defend these people.
I want to say before you open up the lines, Arnab, that I'm not wearing my political hat on today. Otherwise, I would not be defending the poster boy of the government's ministers, Ranveer Alabadia. But I want to point to something more difficult, right? Which is that we have an 18th century solution to a 21st century problem. We've discussed that the speech uttered was inappropriate. We know that some action has to be taken about it.
So rape laws are not strong enough, which means people have a license to rape.
They simply are not strong enough.
Yeah, so rape laws are not strong enough. So the option is not to have rape laws at all, or to give people a license to rape.
That unnatural sex.
No, I don't understand this. You're talking about the law because you don't want to talk about this. No, you don't want to talk about this privileged pervert called Ranveer Alabadia.
No, I'm saying...
Why? You're part of some social set?
Punish. Or to get
You're part of some social set?
Section 67. No, Arnab, Section 67
you think these privileged...
You know, for 2 years of imprisonment and 5,000 rupees... 5,000 rupees fine. He can go to jail for 2 years, and I think he deserves to go to jail, Ranveer Alabadia. He has taken all the spiritual followers of Sadhguru and all the leading monks who used to come to his channel on his podcast. He has taken all their followers for a ride, and what he has done is downright unacceptable. And if we are wondering why YouTube is not being very active about taking a decision on him and just put away his podcast and shut down his channel, that's because he and his partner Viraj Seth.
No. YouTube, I don't understand how it operates. YouTube, one minute. If you're reporting, let me tell you this. Let me tell you, I don't know if you know this. If you're reporting on violence, if you're putting out a news story on violence, 1 second, everyone on. If you're reporting on a news story about violence, and there's a drop of blood that you show, YouTube's algorithm refused to recognize or promote that content, saying it's against guidelines. But this, when you say, if I pay you 2 crores, will you do this to my private part? Or have you seen the intimate part of anyone other than your mother? Or would you indulge in incest with your parents? Is considered commendable and monetizable. And if I talk about it, then the grandfather of the crude comedy club says, oh, you guys don't understand, we got followers. And I began by saying today, pornography has followers. Doesn't pornography have followers? So if these people say we got followers, I mean, every pornographic star can tomorrow say that journalists are threatened by them. Maybe that's become a business model. Should I open up the lines, Ira?
Business model.
Arnab, I want to come in.
Yeah, Ira first.
And rightfully so, that because of debates such as the one that we're having, all of these people are getting more and more famous. You know, and definitely stuff which is pornographic is getting more and more views. And that is the reason why content creators are going more and more on the pornographic track. If you see someone like Samay Raina, look at his content 5 years ago and look at his content today. And look at the level of pornography that has increased. And because there is no regulation...
And that's why Ranveer Alabadia takes him as a role model.
Absolutely. And
it's Ranveer Alabadia says, I'm going to be more perverted than Samay Raina. They have a race to the bottom.
I think
and then
we all
comes and supports back both of them. Okay, Sanjana is on the debate.
I think somewhere we are all not here together to have a closed-minded discussion. All of us are coming from a space where we are very liberated, where I think comedy also is fine if it is a little vulgar in films. We still look at them, and even if women are wearing slightly skimpy clothes, that is also fine in entertainment. or even if there are little bit of intimate scenes in the movies, that also we see and we forget. It's okay. The script required it. Or even if there are jokes that are cracked anywhere or everywhere, we are fine with it. But jokes cracked on the intimate life of your parents is... it has crossed all boundaries of limitations, and that is something which definitely cannot go very well with Indian culture, American culture, British culture.
But they want the
no
hits.
culture can accept it.
Okay.
No
Deepika on the right. Deepika, two versus Deepika.
I am a very
Deepika. Deepika, louder.
We are clearly living in two Indias. One India is going to these vulgar comedy shows and enjoying it thoroughly. And they say as long as there's paywall, you have the choice whether to watch it or not. We are living in two Indias where one is fine with porn watching and the other thinks it's absolute disgusting. They are in a fight of sanskars. Arnab, my question to you is, how do you differentiate? One thing is right for someone, one thing is wrong for someone. Whatever we can do in terms of legislation can be done for adults versus minors. Let's talk constructive. Australia has recently passed a law where they're banning social media for under 16-year-old kids, and they're going to go all out in implementing that. What are we doing in India to actually stop this filth from reaching the minors? But because that seems to be the biggest concern. What Ranveer said is absolutely wrong. But
no, I think the government's got to have the guts to call this out. One minute. The government doesn't. The government very often. I want to go to Dushan. The problem is, Deepika. This is a test case. The government says, oh, you know, this perverted content gets views. These people must be having followers. Let's not touch them.
No, that should not be the thing at all.
Because the law has been broken. The law has already been broken. You're a lawyer. 296, 79, 294 and 67 of the IT Act 2000 have all been broken. But the government's not doing anything so far.
No, there is absolutely not an iota of that.
And on that note, let me tell you, Deepika, in the name of creating content sexualizing small children, under the age of 10, young girls under the age of 10 are promoted and encouraged to perform sexualized dances in the name of talent spotting on some of these GEC channels. Shame on them. And it's happening before our watch in this country. And we are allowing it. And therefore, we have encouraged a new generation of crassdom.
Please question these commissions.
I am questioning everyone.
Now. Please,
Dushan, what is the impact on society, on the future of our country?
Social media. NHRC hasn't seen what is happening.
Dushan, then our opening call. Sorry, thank you for being patient. Dushan.
Become to all this nonsense that is happening.
Well, let me tell you, people like Urfi Javed, Kunal Kamra, Poonam Pandey, this, that, Ranveer Alabadia are called purely for shock value. We're not shocked. We're not shocked. We are sickened. We want to puke. We're not shocked. Yes, Dushan.
Arnab, very quickly, I think 3-4 months back, I don't remember, you did a wonderful set of series on the plight of the Hindus in Bangladesh, and I participated in one of the debates. So one of those videos that I appeared speaking up for the Hindus in Bangladesh when it was loaded on, to upload to YouTube, that video was removed from YouTube stating that we are inciting violence. That video of mine for 3 minutes was explaining the plight of the Hindus, and that video was taken. And these videos where such kind of content is there receives 50 million views. So I do not know if content makers are at fault, or such platforms are at fault, or viewers are at fault. Students addressing teachers as bitches and all of that has become very common or not. So I don't know if the government should bring a legislation at the earliest, because if this is the society that we are going to live in,
they say this happens in America.
Nobody can help us.
They say this happens in America. They say this happens in Canada. Why not here?
It's very sad to state. Any stand-up comedian today who has to be successful, who is successful, if you get to see their content, there wouldn't be a line that is bereft of WTF without the F word. I do not know why. What is so
It's
special
not
about
just
these
these
words?
content
And
creators,
as viewers,
Dushyant.
have we
People are
become...
using this language in daily conversations. There are fights, you see young kids using this. And that brings me to a point, where are we as on the moral side in society, Arnab? I remember when I was a kid and we were in schools, there used to be a subject on moral education. It is not there anymore. Recently, there was a boy in South India who died by suicide. He was bullied in his class. He was called something that I cannot use on this
Sanjana,
show.
on the left.
A word that I cannot use on this show. So
Simi.
we are degrading absolutely as a society on morals, but there's nobody who's bothered about it.
Yeah, opening up lines
paid,
now.
You get
Vasudev
platforms, you
Sharma
get
from
calls.
Hanumangarh. Vasudev Sharma from Hanumangarh, our first caller tonight. Vasudev ji.
Yes, Arnab. How are you, man?
Very good, Vasu.
Arnab, are you able to hear me?
Loud and clear.
Hello. Arnab, are you really legend, man? I appreciate you so much. Sir, my question is how Ranveer like people role model for us? They like piece of shit for society, and who on sport these like people are totally idiot. They can see episode with mother or sister, and I hear through a mother teacher. How can they tolerate this? How can they tolerate this? And left wing totally active now for taking Prime Minister awards to Ranveer. Then what Prime Minister did this? Why left wing so against?
Yes.
For you, and I don't know why left wing totally bullshit.
Yeah, actually, I'll tell you, Vasudev, thank you very much for calling. It's not a left-wing, right-wing thing. It's moral and immoral, good or bad, right or wrong, decent and crude, vulgar and not vulgar. That's what this is. Kishalai Jha is calling from Kolkata. Kishalai.
How are you?
Very well, Kishalai.
Okay, I'm calling from Calcutta.
Yes.
And, I'm a big fan of you. And my slogan is also Nation First. But what sort of a, argument is over here? Okay, these people are trying to explain that, that the things, whatever is happening is good. I am staying in a nuclear family. I have 3 kids. Okay, and I have a family where, everybody is following a channel only. I don't talk about Luthean media. These people are making nation, day by day down. Okay, you expose every day.
Yeah.
Then after also they are not understanding that what we want. They don't have a family. They don't have a kid. Where is Mr. Salman Khan? Where is Mr. Bachchan? Where is Bollywood?
Yes.
Why not they're talking about this? Everybody is like shut down their mouth as they become the legends. How come they become the legends? I know.
Yeah, I get that. The argument these people have is that they don't really belong to this country. They say they are global. Ira, their argument is we are global. This happens in Iceland, Norway, America, Canada. It must happen in India.
Arnab,
It better not happen in India. They better leave to one of those countries, Arnab.
Maybe 39
They
countries.
better be
Arnab,
very
you're
comfortable
global
and
too.
leave
That
to
is-
one of those countries.
No, but Simi.
Okay, you are the highest watched English news channel in the world.
Yes.
So what globalization and being global are they talking about? That's such a silly excuse.
Yeah.
What kind of explanation is that they are global? You are global. Today, will you be allowed to put such smut on your shows? No.
Yeah, it's a race to the bottom, ladies and gentlemen.
How
as far
come
as I
Republic
think it's
is
a...
more
I want to
popular
come in
than
here.
that?
Yeah,
I want to come in here.
Anish.
Just a second.
Arnab,
I think we have to take this debate. We have to take this debate further. You can ban Ranveer. You can ban Samay Raina. How are you going to ban Andrew Tate? We have to realize the global dimensions of this problem.
Yeah.
We have no way of educating our children about the content they're seeing online. We have no way of sensitizing people around us. And for everyone on the show today saying that, oh my God, look who's watching this. The people watching this are not out there. The people watching this are in our own homes, our own friends, our own family members, and we have to confront that.
Very
difficult
weak
reality.
argument there by you. Very weak argument there. It's like saying after a terrorist attack, I want to get a view from Dushyant on this. I want Dushyant to respond to this because he's got to go in a minute. Dushyant, he says the dirt is within us. Let's do within. Yeah, okay, Dushyant.
Arnab, using this argument that we will always censor people who are in India, what about people who do such shows from the US? Then we can bring no legislation in. So we can always say, see, the point is there are a lot of young followers for all these influencers. They have a big responsibility that they shoulder on, and they will have to ensure that the youngsters get a very positive motivation from them, and these are not the words that need to be encouraged. And 50 million viewers, let's say that there is a blame on the viewers as well. Imagine that the youngsters get to see this and people laugh and clap. Any youngster will think, if I speak such language, I'll receive applauses. And that's how we are going to spoil the society.
So what he says is that because there's an Andrew Tate in the West, there needs to be a Ranveer Allahabadiya equivalent in India.
Unaccepted.
He says, So he says, if there's a pervert in the West, we need to have a pervert in India. If there's a rapist in the West, we need to have a rapist in India. If there's a filth creator in the West, we need to have our own domestic filth creator in India in the form of Ranveer Allahabadiya. You just trashed Ranveer's case, Anish. You just lost your whole argument by saying that. I can't believe you actually said it. You acknowledged in a way that Ranveer Allahabadiya puts out filth and perversion. Yeah, Samay Raina, Ranveer Allahabadiya, these people, yeah.
In the list of comedians, we missed one very respected person, Kunal Kamra. His speeches, his tweets, the delineations that he gives on his shows is equally abusive. So I don't have to talk about the person to you anymore. But still, such kind of people, their shows, they sell or not. They sell. And such shows are ticketed and people buy such tickets, clap for such so-called jokes. And this is the state of the society that we are living in. Of course, I do buy one point that targeting one person at one point in time is not going to help, but there needs to be a larger legislation and OTT series, the comedy shows, in the name of comedy shows. I don't know where the government is going to begin and end.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, they are not influencers. They are not influencers. They are very bad influencers. And one of the panelists
of the IT Act,
topic about moral education.
It gets used to ban comedians who speak against
immoral education.
It gets used to ban cartoonists who speak against even Mamata Banerjee ji. All of these regulations and legislations that have been
I'm sorry, political cartoons are all right. This is someone talking about the sex lives of their parents and incest and pedophilia and dirt. And perversion, please. Don't equate this with political content.
Arnab, this is not happening right now.
Regulations exist,
this is not happening right now.
Deepika and Simi.
I remember there used to be a show called Roadies. Okay, the language that was used in that show was where all the slangs and the abuses in the youth began. Nobody did anything about it. Big Boss has been running for years and years. The bestest of the channels want that show. The brands are crazy about that show, hosted by a man who is known by all. The kind of dirt, filth,
I would like to reply to
the basement of society we see over there, that is all okay. Why go just after this person? Then you talk about, clearing the entire filth and not just India's Got Latent. This guy said something which is absolutely ridiculous. What about the content flying on Instagram? Porn flying on Instagram, minors being used on Instagram, that is when no commission speaks up. Why not be questioning that? Where did this thing start and why nobody took cognizance of it then?
Before our next caller, Sudhanshu from Ahmedabad, before I go to Simi, Sudhanshu from Ahmedabad has been waiting. Sudhanshu.
Yes, Arnab. Good evening. Good evening to you and all your panelists.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm very proud and thankful to you for having brought this topic and discussed at length for the last 3 days, and highly appreciative of that, sir.
Thank you, sir. We must.
Yes. My only point, sir, is this pathetic, perverted trash. It has to come to an end. And it is high time now. This is the awakening we've all been waiting. And this is the opportunity we have got bang on. And this is the perfect time to get all these such kind of so-called criminals under justice. And we need very strong laws to put them behind bars and set an example. So no more idiots sitting on a panel.
What about the people who sponsor them?
6 of them. Yes, exactly. The sponsors, the producers, all the people who are buying tickets to go into such shows. I will tell you a fact, this Samay Raina guy, he's putting up a show in Ahmedabad very soon from now, sometime from now, and his tickets are already all house full, sold out.
Oh.
Can you believe it? Even after such an incident which is going viral
I don't
on
think
all
after
social
this
media,
anyone's going to go there.
They have the audacity to sponsor a program, and people are buying houseful tickets for these. This is the kind of youth and the country we are heading into. My sincere request from you or from the media is that all these 5 idiots who were sitting on that panel laughing on all the stupid, filthy dirt, they should put in front of a camera and they should publicly apologize. And these kind of reels we need to make viral on social media. People should watch this.
I agree, Sudhanshu. I agree. Thank you for calling, Sudhanshu. Let's see what happens. Rakesh Sharma is calling in from Jaipur. Rakesh.
Hi, good evening, Arnab. It's been a long wait, but I'm happy to come on to your program.
Yes, sir.
I would like to tell one thing, those who are saying, those for Ranveer, and to Ranveer also, what you have said, go and practice at your home. Apologize to your parents. Thereafter come on the show and apologize to the nation. Let's see what the parents tell them.
Yeah.
This is my message to all those who are speaking for them.
Yeah. I'm with you in this, Rakesh. I feel sorry.
Practice what you preach.
Yeah, absolutely. Problem is that, there's been a lot of support to all of this. And
Arnab, can I come in here? I would like to reply to Deepika's 2 points. Can I come in here?
Yeah, please.
Earlier on, our co-panelist Deepika mentioned that how does censorship work? And she was comparing bikinis worn in Bollywood movies and all the stuff being shown on regular news channels to this. Guess what? INB ministry has very hard and fast rules for us as news channels.
Yeah.
The film industry has a censor board to censor everything. People like Ranveer Alabadia are getting away scot-free because he is generating crores and crores of rupees of income for YouTube because he runs a company called Monk Production, which is into social media marketing and content creating. Secondly, Deepika is comparing what this controversy is to Big Boss. Let's not forget that people were very vigilant at that time, our INB ministry, and Big Boss used to be aired at 9 p.m. They changed it to 11 p.m. slot so that whatever objectionable content they are showing is not available in the prime time hours when children are awake. Let me just finish. I heard you patiently, Deepika. Let me just finish. I heard you patiently. Now let me just finish. And Big Boss, in front of what Ranveer Alabadia has said, Big Boss is like washed with 555 ka and Tide or Excel ka sabun dhone wala detergent. वो तो इसके सामने इतना दूध का दिया
Okay, Deepika.
Rajat Dalal in its latest episode. Do you know what all Rajat Dalal has done? He has driven at, I don't know, 220 kilometers or whatever. He was accused of assaulting a boy so bad. And ma'am, I did not say that news channels do not have any censor. I said it is news channels that are inviting celebrities, so-called celebrities like Urfi Javed. What has Urfi Javed really done to be called as influencer or a celebrity, to be given a platform, to be talking at stages such
channels are doing that.
What?
I think
That
the
is what
drama
the
company channels are
Well,
doing.
no. Problem is, one minute. There's a particular news network, news channel. There's a news channel that invited Urvi Javed. There's a news channel that invited Urvi Javed on their annual conclave.
Yes.
50,000 tickets because that's where you sell tickets. So this channel also, people find out, there was a news channel that invited to get the opinions of Urfi Javed and then sold tickets. And people bought tickets, and Urfi Javed was the reason people bought tickets. Okay, Shruti from Mumbai, last caller, 10 seconds. Shruti, are you there?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I am a girl, and hearing such perverted comments makes me feel so frustrated. While Apoorva Mukhija says, oh, it was just natural, it wasn't scripted. If this is natural, then what about the meditation and spirituality that he does on his podcast? And yes, this might be cool in the Western countries, but we Indians love being rooted to our values.
Absolutely, Shruti.
If you can be dragged to jail, sir, only for speaking the truth, then why don't we put these guys behind bars? Why is it taking so long?
I don't know. Maybe it's their influence, their reach, they're connected, rich people, kids of rich people.
Can I just bring in the
but
law
the question you ask is very, very relevant. I have to close right now. There are a lot of calls tonight. I promise I'll take the calls, and I promise not to let go of this issue. Neither will I let go of the other issue tonight on why the Congress party, frustrated after duck, 000, now says let's spread some anarchy in the country. When I'm back.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.